Okay, awesome. Well, I'm really excited. Today I have my client Jake here on video, and we're here, Jake, to learn a little bit about your experience coaching. For those who are maybe on the fence or looking into coaching with me, maybe coaching for the first time, oh Lord, um, then all good. Then kind of let them know a little bit about, what to expect. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So, Jake, first, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your background?
I think I have a different background from probably what you were used to. I've got a farming slash trade background. I've worked in manufacturing for just over a decade now. I've kind of worked my way up in manufacturing, kind of to a point where I don't know if there's any more movement for at least a while, and I kind of felt stuck. I had a bunch of different ideas, but really no direction on how to get there. And I think that's what you've really helped. I don't know that I'm not there by any means, but I know where I'm going. So that was the goal of this. And that's what I wanted, was some direction and some consistency in how to get there. And I think I finally found that.
That's awesome. Okay, I want to know more about that for sure. Um, First, kind of walk us through what brought you, think of that point when you decided to kind of seek the support of a coach. What made you think, hey, maybe I could use some support, something outside of just myself and my loved ones.
Right. I had this, well, what I thought was a problem of, I always wanted more. I was never happy. I was never satisfied with just everything that I'd achieved. I'd achieved a lot, in most people's terms, I guess you could say. And I was never satisfied. I always wanted more, more, more. And I had got to the point where I felt like maybe that was wrong. I should feel more like I appreciated what I already had done, and I should be happy with that, satisfied with that. And I don't know, it was a weird spot I was in, because I was at my most successful so far, and probably the most unhappy because I didn't have anything else to go after. I had just finished my master's degree, which for myself was an extremely difficult thing to do. So I was just kind of lost in how I wanted to get there. I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but I had no clue how to get there, because it was so different for me. And then I've also discovered that there's other things that I really want to do that I'm probably the most passionate about. So that's kind of what brought me there, is I just felt stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. So then kind of walk me through your thought process a little bit. So a lot of people watching this might be considering scheduling a free call with me, or maybe they already
Mhm.
had a free call with me, and they're like, this coaching thing, maybe they've never hired a coach. So have you ever
Yeah.
hired a coach before?
No, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I didn't know how to get out of that rut. I self-fix everything. Like, I self-diagnose and then I fix it myself. That's the way I've always done it. I've never asked for help ever, really, in my life, from anybody. But I was stuck, and so I did some research, and I found probably 6 different quote unquote coaches, and, well, you were the last one, and I decided that was the fit. And I think anyone that's on the fence on doing this, I mean, what's it hurt to call and chat and figure out if it is for you? Because if you would have asked me probably a month prior, that's not for me. That's this coaching thing. That's not for me. I'll figure it out. I can solve my own problems, and not that they were problems, but I can solve them. But I couldn't, and that's why you're here.
Yeah, fantastic. So, okay, so we've been working together for a few months now. So,
Mhm.
you mentioned a little before, what has our coaching relationship done for you? Like, what changes have you seen?
I think well, there's been a lot of changes. when we first started, I had just changed jobs. I've been at this new job for about a year and a half now. So I was, it was about a year that I'd been there, and I just wasn't. That was my fix. The previous year was to get out of my rut. I was going to get a new job, and it was going to be more responsibility and all of that, and it has been. But I still just was kind of in this rut. It was all kind of easy to me. It was the same stuff over and over. But then working with you, I've discovered that all of these issues I had from, clear back into my youth that I struggled with, and had to figure out how to get through. I've discovered that there's a lot of people out there that need to hear what I did. And so that's what's really new is I never would have thought that I would be encouraged to go speak to people and talk to, high school age kids about, finding your own path yourself. You follow your gut, follow your passion, follow, what you're good at, forget what you're bad at, all of those things. And it's everything that's been in my head for all these years. And now I'm articulating it to everyone else. It's everything that I've kept bottled up in me. I'm starting to tell everybody else, which has in turn actually made my job a lot more enjoyable. The days have became a lot more enjoyable because I'm using that on all 100 of my employees, whether they want to hear it or not. They're getting some sort of lecture from me on how to be a better person and what that looks like, and how to work hard and what that looks like. And so it's been very refreshing, and there's been a load that's been lifted off of me. And that's the biggest thing that I want to thank you for, I guess.
It's my pleasure entirely. And I'm just so stoked to hear you sharing your message. Tell us a little more about the results, in like specific results. So you mentioned you've been asked to speak places and some different business things going on. Maybe tell us about that.
Yep. Well, I have a strong background, like I said, in farming and welding and all those trades. And I learned basically after working with you, that's kind of what defined me. And that's actually the habits, everything that I learned from that is what has propelled me to do all these other things. And I think I've discovered that so many kids or, young adults, they don't understand that just stick to what you're good at, and then eventually the rest will take care of itself. As long as you just keep trying hard, keep working hard. So that's been one thing is discovering that there's a lot of people that need to hear that, especially in, Southwest Missouri, where it's rural and more of a, I don't know, country atmosphere, a manufacturing atmosphere. They need to hear that these so-called bad jobs aren't bad jobs. You can become successful within these jobs. And I think most importantly, I've discovered that success is just whatever makes you happy. So finding that happiness, that's what we're after. And that's something new that I guess has came to me after speaking with you. And then on the trade side of things, I've always known that I wanted to do that, on my own. I've always wanted to start my own welding business. I've already started the farming on my own. I was doing that before I started speaking with you. But now, I know how that works. I know what I need to do. I know how to get there. It's going to take time, but I've also learned that, this business thing, that's just patience. You just got to be patient. We're looking for the long term, not the short term. So that's been huge, because I'm a very short term. I want it now. I want it done right. I want it done yesterday. So that's been a relief.
That's great. So I'm gonna just check my notes here, make sure I get everything. Were you iffy about making the financial commitment? Did it get squishy in there? That's usually where it's difficult to make that leap at that time. Was it hard for you, or were you, or not?
Oh yeah. I don't buy clothes because I hate spending money. So yeah, like I try to find everything on sale. I'm a very cheap person, I guess you could say. So yeah, but it was one of those things that I knew was an investment in myself, and I don't know that there's a price for that, and I still don't. I don't know that there's an amount that someone could say this is what it's going to cost. I don't know that I would have said no, because if I felt like it was going to get me out of that rut, I mean, the return is so much greater than that in the long run. So,
And has it been?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like I've started making a ton more money all of a sudden, but I know I will. But that comes from work ethic, consistency, and persistence. So that's, I at least know how to get there now.
Yes. So what advice would you give someone? They're on the fence. It's that financial commitment is always scary, and
Mhm.
they've never had a coach before. They're like, what is this world I've landed in? So what advice would you give that person?
I think if someone was researching and getting any sort of coach, I think, obviously do your homework, but you're there for a reason. Something's drawn you to be looking for a coach. You obviously haven't figured out on your own. So making that financial commitment is an investment in yourself and in your future. So I wouldn't be scared of it. Anytime when you can almost guarantee that an investment is going to bring a return, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think that's great advice. I think that's all my questions. So thank you
Okay.
so much for filling everyone in on your experience, because it really helps a lot of people when they're thinking about this, and it's a big step. So, you're on the other side and you can tell them,
Right.
yes, this has been a positive
Right.
ROI for me and a good experience. So
Right.
that's really helpful. So thank you so much, Jake.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Of course.